Okay, fine. Okay. So did you guys know that there is a bridge a mile long? I don't know what keeps this bridge up, but it's a mile long. And the thing is that I know about this bridge, and I'm very, very scared of it. So one day, my children told me, please take us to the outlet malls. Please, empty out your wallet all in one day. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. That sounds like fun. So we got in the car, and as we're getting closer to this bridge, I'm getting myself psyched up, and I'm like, it's the Bay Bridge. Kids, I'm a little nervous because I'm tired. I'm a little nervous about this, so just bear with me. And I'm driving in the bridge. I know it's not ending. I know it's really long because my husband loves it because he loves bridges. And I said, we're just going to sing a song. And I start singing, singing like my song that's going to calm me down. And my boys in the back start laughing at me. And they were probably like 13 and 14-year-old boys, and they're watching me sing Tov Lahodos as I'm driving, and they're laughing, and I'm getting really upset at them while I'm trying to stay calm. And I'm like, you can't laugh. This is really serious. I am really scared. I know you're not used to seeing me scared, but I'm scared right now. And Tov Lahodos Hashem, and I'm singing, and the bridge is not ending. And I found out when I got to the other side that it's 4 miles long, not 1 mile long, and that's why this bridge never, ever ended. But here was the problem. At the end of the day, I had to get back home. This was such a problem. I actually went to some kind of like healing session after this. They're like, your body's kind of tense. Like, yes. It's been a week. I'm still tense. So I don't even remember how I got home and how I stopped being needlessly angry at my boys because it was just all my stuff. Like, I couldn't even talk to them. I was so disturbed. But I taught myself to not be scared of bridges because I started to do this dialogue with myself. And remember, I had to drive here today, and I had to get over the Delaware Memorial Bridge and the Verrazano and this other little guy that I don't know his name, but he comes so soon into my trip. And I start with this dialogue like this. I'm like, bridges are wonderful. My goodness. Look at the brilliance that Hashem put into people. Isn't this amazing? And I get to experience this brilliance as I travel across this bridge and I talk out loud. I am a lunatic. And every time I get on these bridges, I start testing my body. Am I still tense? Is it still there? Is the fear still there? And it's 99% gone. And then today it was back. And I'm driving and I'm like, whoa, whew, there it is. I'm scared again. And I said, wow, that's life. You know, that's the healing journey. It's like you conquer one thing and some nugget is still inside of there waiting to say hello to you when you're ready to deal with it all over again. And you think you're past something, and then suddenly one day something makes you really upset and you're like, I thought I was over that. I thought I didn't care what everyone thinks. I thought I'm so confident now. I thought I don't mind that I never had children, and I just figured out how to work in this community. And then one day, suddenly you mind. Suddenly you feel horrible. And that's the journey. That's the next piece to work on. So, thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, because our topic is the feminine response to finding power in pain. Help me out. That's such a good title. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this group of women that actually wants to talk about pain? Like, don't we have enough of it? And I said, it has to be that if we want to get together to talk about pain, what's it called? Oh, thank you. The feminine formula for turning pain into power. Got it. I do have a formula, by the way. And it's better than singing Tov Lahodos while you're driving on a bridge. But, yeah, it must be that this is a group of people that wants to find the power in the pain, that has been through a chunk of life and is not scared to admit it, that can have an honest conversation about where we're really at. And where we're really at is somewhere between, like, the house is on fire and we are in the middle of becoming the most exquisite butterflies all at the same time. And there's like a rainbow and a pot of gold there and a tornado. Do you guys know what I mean? Yeah? Is this happening in your life too? It's like so bad and it's so good. It's like hurts so bad. You gotta take this, you gotta take the like a page out of a boxer. Like the harder it is, the better it is. You know, I'm just gonna like keep throwing out my punches. Life's gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep coming at it. I'm just gonna like, you know, get it in there. We gotta like be marathon champions in our world, and that's who we are. We turn pain into power. That's what women do. And I was thinking, what is the feminine formula? What is it to be feminine anyway? Because frankly, it's kind of tricky to know that answer. Is it about your looks? Is it about your motherhood? Is it about your wifehood? Is it about your girlfriendhood? Like, it's so nice to call something feminine, but what is that after all? It's a really good question. I can't actually answer it, by the way. I think that to be feminine is something that is so deep. It's your essence. It is, and it's a vibration, and you're either in alignment with it or you're not in alignment. And when you're not in alignment, you're hurting yourself, right? So this is something that you'll have your own answers to. What is it to be feminine? But I'll tell you one thing. I thought of something. You have two kids fighting. Does anyone have kids who ever fight? No? Okay. No one over here. No one over here. Okay, good. All right. Angelics. Well, my kids never fight. So this is obviously a story about someone else's children. And they, you know, two kids are fighting, and you see them. And what's the male response? Kids, cut it out. It's a Shabbos table. Kids, go to your room. Kids, we don't do that. Boom, boom, boom. What does little Leah say to her children? Guys, what's going on? What's going on over here? We want to know, like, what's really going on? That's the feminine response. It's that bina, that intuition. I know you can't be mad at him for taking the last pancake because you just had 3. So what is really going on? You want to know. Did you have a bad day in school? Like, how was your day? Because that's going to affect how you act. Are you making up, you know, what's happening? What's the story beneath the story? That's what we want to know. Or husband and wife. They're in this conversation. You know, you ever do this thing. This is the worst thing. But, like, yeah. You know, your husband says something. And then you, like, interrupt and say it better. Whoops. At the Shabbos table in front of, like, oh, well, this is not good. You know, he's not going to say anything. But, like, later you want to talk about it, right? You want to just have a little conversation about it. And if he feels bad, he's going to be like, quiet, man cave time, done. You know, I can't talk about that. That's just like too painful that I did not like that moment. I did not like that moment. Therefore, that moment is like, you know, we're not talking about it. What does a woman want to do? Oh, honey, can we talk about what happened? So really, I didn't mean that. I mean, you know I didn't mean that. I was just coming in to say a little thing, and I didn't mean that. I didn't mean for that to happen. I didn't know you'd feel that. I just thought the guests should actually understand what you were trying to say. Okay, I'm admitting all my faults on Facebook Live. You know, I work hard at this. But what does a woman want? Oh, I want relationship. I want to know what's happening beneath the surface. I don't want to let things just be. It's not enough for me that things didn't work out. I want to know what's happening. What's the story? That's how we roll. That's how we roll. We have this bina, and we want to know what's going on underneath the surface, which is so cool because we are the redemption bringers. And the whole idea of redemption is that there is a purpose to this pain. That all this thing called history and life has a purpose. And redemption is the time when we say Hayinu kechomim. We'll be like dreamers. We'll say like, oh, what a crazy dream that was. Oh, I know what it meant. That's because of that. And we'll look back at our lives and we'll like make sense of it. And that's going to feel incredible. So we are purpose makers. We take all the ingredients and we make a story out of them. So I ran this workshop. It was a very intense workshop. And in this workshop, we learned a process called radical forgiveness. And I'll tell you in a little while why I'm on this forgiveness topic, not letting go of it. I believe it's one of our purposes. It's one of our purposes that are happening right now. And there's a woman in the workshop, and she would like a turn. And I say, okay, let's get into this. You ready? Because this it's not gonna be pretty. It gets hard before it gets easy. And I say, what's the story? Tell me the story, because that's the first part of forgiveness is you've got to get into the meat of it. What hurts you? How did you get hurt? And she tells us about the horrific abuse from her husband. And she tells us about how he had 2 faces in fact, the one everyone else saw and the one that she saw. And how living with him was absolutely unbearable, and how he set out to make her life miserable. And as she's telling this, she's just letting it go. She's saying this story. She's saying it in all its detail. How he decided to marry someone from their community and purposely made the wedding right where she would hear it and see it. She's watching him get married to another person right after that ended, and it's unbearable. And now, of course, he wants to get more vengeance and more vengeance, so he's involving police, and her life is in danger. Her very being is in danger. She is spending every day in a corner crying because he hasn't stopped even when the marriage ended. And there she is, and she's got a decision to make because she's at the brink. And she gets a call, and I can't remember who called her, and they told her, you need to leave now. He is going to ruin you. He is going to ruin your children. You need to pack up your children and get out of the city. And so she has 24 hours to leave. But she can't tell her children because then he'll find out. And so in her own broken warrior way, she packs up all her belongings. A friend comes over. By a miracle, she has support. And she is doing this crazy thing of packing up her house to leave. And she goes to her children's school without telling them. And she says, kids, come, let's go for a trip. We've got to get in the car. And she puts them all in the car. And they say goodbye to the only life they've ever known. And she's driving in the car, and he's already got the police on her tail. And so she's getting calls from the police, and she just keeps driving, and she keeps driving, and the kids in the back seat are going bananas. Could you imagine? They're starting to accuse her. Mommy, what are you doing? Mommy, we're gonna call Daddy. Mommy, where are we going? What's happening? And she's trying to drive mile after mile after mile, and they are in the back seat giving her heck. It's the scariest ride she's ever taken in her life, and she keeps going through the night. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, scared to stop, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, until she finally gets to her destination with nothing. Just a few things that she packed in her car, and her children are devastated. And here she tries to save them, and they are as estranged from her as you are to someone you've never met. They don't want anything to do with her. And she says to me, you know, my son now, this is a few years later, he's coming for a visit, and he can't stand me. He's so angry at me for what I did to our life. He's so angry, and I'm so scared to face him again. And I finally realized that what I need to do is to forgive myself. I said, let's get into it. Forgive yourself. For what? Because I'm thinking like there's a whole lot of people we can be mad at this story, but herself? And I said, okay, it's a process we go through in radical forgiveness. What is the story that you're telling yourself about yourself? Let's call that woman a different name. Let's call her Sarah. Let's call that other you a different name. What tell me about her. She said she is a monster. She's a criminal. She lied. She took her kids out of the only life they ever knew. She ruined their life. She took them away from her father. Why couldn't she be like these other divorced women who just stay in their home and who just stay in their hometown and they become these awesome women and they find themselves and they're good to go? Why couldn't she be that? Why did she have to go and ruin everything? Why couldn't she just be strong enough to stand up with her husband, to her husband? I can't stand that woman. And so we go through the layers and we say, okay, how does she make you feel? Unworthy, alone, unlovable. We go through another layer. When's the last time that you when is a time that you remember these feelings coming up before? And she says, oh, well, that's easy. She said, when I was in 7th grade, when my mother was on her 3rd husband, she called me up in school, and she said, he's asking me to choose between him and you, and I'm going to have to choose him. So we'll find a place for you to live, but... And then she tells me, and by the way, I just want to give you ladies a heads up. This talk is not a downer. We are just in the middle of a very intense period in history. And so this is very intense, is it not? This is intense. Are you guys okay? Are you holding on with me? Yes. Okay. You sure? Should I tell a joke? No. I could think of one, but I don't think I should say it. Okay, fine. It's so inappropriate. Okay, fine. How does a jellyfish get high? On seaweed. Teenage kids. All right. So my friend over here, she says, I didn't say, how does Alana get high? That would have been a funny joke. So she said, yeah, I remember this feeling very, very well. And then she pulls out her phone. And she said, do you know what? She said, my mother, actually, in the middle of this whole session, it's like very strange because we're in the middle of the deep stuff. She pulls out her phone. She's like, you're not going to believe what my mother sent me. And this was Mother's Day, was just a little bit ago, right? And she said, it said on there, you know, dear, call her Sarah, dear Sarah, it just came into my heart to wish you a happy Mother's Day. You've always been a wonderful mother, and I wish things could be good for us. And she said, I was so mad when I read that. Do you know what I wrote back to her? She said, it took me 2 weeks. Did it ever take you 2 weeks to write an email?
Wait, and who wrote that to her?
Her mother. Oh. Now, we're coming back to now. She got this, and she's like saying, you know, Mother's Day, beginning of May, I got this thing from my mother. And now, she said, and I wrote her back 2 weeks later. I finally just wrote her back. And you know what I wrote her? I wrote, some things, you know how much damage that you did to me? I've made all these bad decisions because of what you did. And there can only be forgiveness if you actually feel bad and take responsibility for what you did, etc., etc. It's a long email. That's where it is. And so we move. We're in the pain. We're in the pain part, right? You guys got that? Is this painful? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we move to the power part, to the forgiveness part. What is the expectation or judgment that you have on that woman, on that Sarah, that you also have on yourself? And she says, well, I expected her to be strong. I expected her to just make it through. I expected her to be a warrior, a survivor. And we start looking a little deeper. And as I'm telling you this story, stories are never just for the story. Stories are for you. Stories are so you can tell yourself a story as I'm telling you the story and find yourself in the story. When is the time that you, in your life, that you regret, that you wish that you did something differently? When is that time? Because we all have it. Because such is life, right? Such is life. There's going to be those times. So we come to this opening, and it's a whole process how we get to this opening. If anyone would like, I can do this process with them. It's an incredible forgiveness process. And suddenly, the skies open up, and we get to see, and she sees, and this is the important part, that she sees that in fact, where was the strength that she has today to be remarried, to carry on with her life, to keep giving love to her children, even when they're antagonistic to her? Where is the strength for this woman who's on this incredible healing journey? Where was that born? Where was it born? How did she get from being this abused schmata in the corner to being this fabulous woman in my workshop? How did that happen? Who caused that? You know who caused that? The woman who gathered up her belongings and under the worst circumstances took her children out, put them in a car, and saved their lives. The woman who faced the police on her phone and her kids in the back seat and left her home and everything that she loved and started again. That woman that you can't stand, that's where your power was born. Say thank you. Say thank you to yourself. thank you to myself who did the hardest thing. And do you know, I said to her, why you can't stand her? Do you know why you can't stand that version of yourself? Because you have disowned that part of yourself. You're back in that little girl who feels worthless and unlovable, and you're not allowed to be strong to your mother or to the 3 husbands. You don't let yourself be that. And when you see that in someone else, it looks ugly to you. So take it back. Take back that strength. Own it. Bring it into yourself, because that's the woman that your children need. Do you think your children need someone who's wrapped up in guilt, who feels lousy about themselves, or do they need a mother who's strong and feels good about herself and makes powerful decisions? What do you guys think?
Strong.
A strong woman, a strong mother. She gets it. Like I said, the skies open up. It's a shift. It's a chemical shift. It's like from this to this. Yeah, I am that woman. I am that woman. We go outside, we stand on the grass to ground this emotion. We got to ground it because we're like in the sky. This is an hour-and-a-half process. We come inside and we're kind of doing a group hug, and really it's very unbelievable to watch her shift from self-loathing to self-love. And as she's there doing this, the phone buzzes. The phone buzzes, my friends, and it's her mother sending a message that says, "My dear Sarah, I wish that I could have done things differently. I did the best I could with what I had, and I wish that I could go back in time and change things. I wish from the depths of my heart, and I can't. And I'm so sorry for all the hurt that I caused you. I am truly sorry. And what I know is that Hashem wants us to be connected. He does not want one to be estranged from the other. Hashem wants restoration for us. He wants peace. And I know that you don't owe me anything, but I just am asking if you could find in your heart to give us a new start. Out of the clear blue sky, this text comes. Clear blue sky. When we put the energy of forgiveness into the world, when we stop holding on to the self-loathing, to the tightness, to the blame, to the guilt, it sends the most beautiful ripples out. And you know what I told her? I said, watch this. Look what a tikkun you did. Your mother left you on the side of the highway. You had to go save your own life, and you didn't leave even one of your children. You brought them all with you. Is that beautiful? Do you guys get how beautiful that is? Mm-hmm. Just say yeah if you get that. Yeah? Is that exquisite? The thing that we can't stand ourselves for may be the very thing that we should be loving ourselves for. So when we want to turn pain into power, we have to see that underneath there was always a purpose. Let's look at our friend over here. Let's look at the purpose in that pain. She had this awful childhood. She was in a self that couldn't see herself. And then she got into a marriage where she couldn't see herself. And all that had to happen so she could finally snap through, break through, and say, I am a self. I'm getting out of here. I am a self. And start building the life she was meant to lead. Do you guys get it? Do you get it? The thing we don't want to happen, it happens why? To build us. You know, Leah over here is in coaching school. You have a life coach amongst you. About to graduate. And I went to that same school. And there's this one point where they ask you to tell your story, your life story, 10 minutes of your life story. Now for me, 10 minutes is kind of short, no? I'm like, I'm starting my own school, which I did, where people get to tell their stories for an hour and a half, okay? But okay. We told our stories in a little circle for 10 minutes. And as I'm trying to brief, I burnt down my house when I was 5, all the way till one of my kids struggled with mental health issues and everything in between, As I'm trying to squash that into 10 minutes, it's a little frustrating. And I hear my final words. I hear them to myself. And my final words is I'm sitting there with a group of people who honestly couldn't understand. I really believe they couldn't understand. They were just rich executives sitting in a circle on the floor, and like, I don't think they ever sat on the floor. That was the people there. And I was like, I said, and God knew that Rivka Malka wanted to grow. So he kept sending her opportunities. And that's the truth. We will always get what we truly want. Did you guys know that? You can want anything you want because you will get it. Our problem with wanting is that we think we know what we want, but then we want something else, right? It's like, I want to be truly successful, but secretly, what do I want? I want to be liked. Do you know that I spent like 3 or 4 years in that zone of like, I want to make a huge impact, don't I? I have this fire inside of me. I want to make an impact. But oops, what I really wanted was to be liked. So instead of making an impact, I just kept like writing sweet blog posts that like touched my heart or something. So, people could connect to me. It was good. People really liked me. You guys like me? Yeah. Woo! But that's not enough. That's not enough because I'm here for redemption. You will always get what you really want. You've got to know what you want. By the way, our friend Sarah, all she ever wanted was to build a stable home, which she has right now. Hodu Lashem Ki Tov, Baruch Hashem. So what do we really want? What do you really want? Peace in your relationships? Peace in your heart? Closeness to Hashem? Friends who understand you? You got a friend right there? That's a good one. Hold on to her. That's a good one. Yeah. Because I saw that when she looked at you, she trusts you. And that's a good one.
Told her not to cry.
We will always get what we really want. And that's what this journey is about. Can we open the door because it's a little hot in here? Or maybe just because I'm wearing a winter dress. Yeah, that's awesome. So what time is it? The clock says it's 8:45. Yep. I say it's redemption time. You guys say it's redemption time? Yeah. Woo! Can I hear redemption time? Redemption time. Redemption time. Do you get where we're at? We're at a time in history of redemption time. It's not 8:45, it's redemption time. It's not 2018, it's redemption time. What's happening right now, this minute, before your eyes, as you sit in this chair and when you leave and before you came and every minute in between, is Hashem is saying, oh my gosh, are you beautiful? Let's peel off another layer and see more of that beauty. Let's give you a challenge that's going to really squeeze some beautiful light out of you. This is how it goes. No. This is how it goes, my friend. Squeeze an olive, you get the oil. And that warms 1,000 hearts. Otherwise, just an olive, doing nothing. We were not made to do nothing. We were designed for greatness. For greatness. And we are ushering in the Geula, and I'll tell you something. We are schlepping. We are schlepping. We are so close to giving in to this galus. Do you guys feel it? Like, some days, I just said to my friend, I'm like, it was like a burst. I'm like, can I just tell you something? I said, I was like almost crying out of nowhere. It was just this burst. I'm like, I get tired. I said, I just get tired sometimes. I'm just telling you that. I get tired sometimes. Like, I'm tired of always growing. I'm tired of being so fearless because I'm not fearless because I'm so scared and I make myself do stuff and then I'm still scared and I was even scared before I came here. That's how I get. I get scared and scared and scared and then I just do it anyway and it's like, it's exhausting. And then a challenge comes and I'm like, I'm going to face this challenge. I'm going to see the purpose in it. I'm going to find love in my heart. I'm going to keep my heart open. I think of my heart like those, I don't know what surgical tool it is. My father's a ER doctor, but there are tools that like keep heart valves open during surgery, right? And every time life hits you, we are in danger. Do you know why? Because our heart closes. We're like, enough. I can't. Okay, enough, really. And we start with a closed heart. You guys know what a closed heart looks like? Mm-hmm. Yeah? The doctors say it looks like cholesterol and clogged arteries, but I'll tell you what it looks like for me. It looks like I don't like people, and people don't like me. And I want to judge everyone, and probably everyone's judging me. And it looks like I don't have the strength to do another relationship. Or it looks like, do I really have to face today? Or it looks like, when will the bills ever end? Or it looks like, do I really feel like davening? Do I really need to be that? Or is it going to be some zoned out, vegged out experience? Like which, Closed heart is like not available to life. And that leads to a heart attack. That's a dead existence. So we're this close to the heart attack, but we're not giving in. Nobody here is giving in. I can feel that. Are you guys right with me? Is there anyone giving in? No. Anyone going to close that heart? No. It's like, I've been dating for 10 years. Anyone here been dating for 10 years? How's your heart doing? Still good? Come get a hug. Heart to heart. That's a champion right there. You're dating for 10 years and you have an open heart? You are a champion. Longer.
For sure longer.
Champion human being. Champion human being. That's the hardest thing in the world, to keep an open heart when you're waiting. Champion, gold star, medal, front row, VIP seat, all the angels staring right at you. They're like, wow, she's our girl. She is our girl. To keep an open heart, to keep giving, to not be stuck in the fear. You're amazing. Amazing.
When you met me, I had just been dumped, by the way. Right before you met me, I had just been dumped, in the most painful, shocking.
Painful and shocking. Yeah. So did your heart close? I'm just curious. Did you reopen?
I was in shock for a while. I didn't even tell anyone. For 2 weeks.
Right. Right.
And then I just, it was I went through the motions, and then I had to process and refigure out what when you're religious and you think every person is going to be your husband. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just dating. I have friends who are just they're just dating and they're fine and whatever, but every person is
right. You're already married by the third date in your mind. Right. Devastating. You already had 6 chuppahs. Yeah. You would look good in white. Okay, let's give a blessing to our dear friend Alana and everyone else who needs that blessing special. They should find their basher soon. And tonight is not too soon. Tonight would be great. Excellent. Excellent. You look good tonight. It's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we got to keep an open heart, yeah? That's the one thing that I want to ask you. Well, that's a lie. That's the first thing that I want to ask you. Is I'm asking you to join with me in the work, in the avoda of keeping an open heart. Okay? When we have a closed heart, the things that hurt us, we blame other people for. The world becomes our mirror. I remember I used to have a lot of people over on Friday night, and they were not religious, and they would sometimes say things like, I drove here and everyone was staring at me. Oh my gosh, I drove through this neighborhood and it was so weird. I was so self-conscious. And I'm thinking, it's Friday night, we're in shul. Then we come home, we know there are cars. Nobody saw you. It's not true, it's a story. But what you think about yourself, help, I'm a Jew, should I be driving on Shabbos? This feels really awkward and weird, and I'm judging myself right now. Oh my gosh, everyone else is judging me. Everyone else is judging me. We flip it on other people. The world is our mirror. When you keep an open heart, do you know what that's going to require of you? It's going to require of you that you choose every single day to say, I'm awesome. You, my friend, are awesome. I'm picking on you. You're awesome. Hey, you're awesome.
You're awesome.
Say, I'm awesome.
Say.
It's this.
I'm awesome.
You're awesome. I'm awesome. You guys can all say it. I'm awesome.
I'm awesome.
I'm awesome. awesome. That's an open heart. Be willing to own it yourself. I'm awesome. That's what the world is going to mirror back to you. That's the message. I'm awesome and you're awesome. I did not used to know this. Did you know that? I was one of these people that like really rocked it on the outside, you know, but inside a world of loneliness and insecurity. Like an absolute world, like a whirlpool of loneliness and insecurity with having 6,000 friends. No, not Facebook friends. Real friends, okay? Just the insecurity, the unbearable. Because every time I would get in front of another person, I would start doing this thing. I'd start wondering, like, do you like me? I don't know. Do you like me? And I would, like, as I'm talking, I'm wondering if they're liking what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying? So this conversation is basically unbearable and also fake. And that's why people eat a lot at kiddishes, because it's such a difficult conversation to walk around and basically you're just like, do you like me? Do you like me? I hope you like me. I hope I look good to you and to you. Stuff my face. It's like, it's draining. You need a lot of brownies to keep up the energy, you know? But then, by the grace of Hashem, when he saw fit to nearly take my life away, which I had in a birth, I nearly died, and it was a huge miracle. And when I came back, what I found out is that Hashem loves me. How did I find this out? It was like clear as day. Babies know this. Little children know this. We don't know this because we can't stand ourselves, because we're busy judging ourselves. Your self-love and Hashem's love are two sides of the same exact coin. You cannot feel Hashem loving you, being crazy about you. You're adorable, you're sweet. I see every effort you make. You're unbelievable. Unless you feel that about yourself. Because think of it like this. You are the receiver of the love. You are the basket, right? See the basket? If the basket has a hole in it, the hole being I can't stand myself, then all of his love just drains. You can't receive it. There's nothing there. Do you get it? You are the basket. You are the vessel. And that is why, in order to keep your heart open, to feel loved in this world, you first have to know, I am awesome. I'm awesome. Do you know why you're awesome? You just are. Perfect imperfection. The divine neshama. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do to change that. Every mistake you ever make will always still lead you home. It's just another way that you're going to become even more awesome. You'll just work it through. You can't mess up your awesomeness. You can't mess up your perfection. But if you don't see it, if you're stuck in this loop of thinking I'm not awesome, you will never feel that Hashem knows that you are wonderful. And that is so debilitating, because after all, he's the one who's running the show. So when we think Hashem doesn't like us, it's really rough, isn't it? It's really rough. So that's where I was for most of my life, thinking Hashem doesn't like me, except on good days, when I walked little old ladies and made meals for people. Then I was tzedekah. Thank you. I have now validated my existence. Or if I got Shabbos ready by Chatzos, that happened once. And by the way, I had the Chatzos lady over at my house when I was braiding challahs at 3 PM. And this was a total point for authenticity, because she was thrilled. She's like, I'm so happy, because I was really scared you'd feel pressured when it came. And I'm like, I do feel pressured, but my time management skills don't allow me to show off to you. So, So what happened was, when I started realizing that Hashem loves me unconditionally, which was just the gift that he gave me, and he gives us all that gift in different ways, when I got it, I started to realize, oh, this is really interesting, because Hashem loves you too, unconditionally. If I'm that special, you're also that special. And you're also that special. And you're also that special. And it changed the dynamics of my relationships. Because instead of being insecure and wanting to prove myself to the other person, I was like, wow, that's a really special person there. That's God's favorite. Whoa, I wonder what's up with her. I wonder who she is. Just became so interesting. It's not being about me. It's I'm fine. I am fine. Most days. Some days I'm I wish more people like me. Some days we slip up, But it's pretty much I'm fine. So now I know I'm good. I'm a neshama. Well, you can't mess that up. So now my job is to get to know the next neshama. You see how Hashem's love is like a balm? How Hashem's love is the truth of what creates the connection between us, instead of the competition or the distance or the superficial. superficiality. Do you see that? You get to stand in your strength. I get to stand in my strength. We get to learn from each other. It's so beautiful. But here's the thing. People hurt people. Did you know that? That's what people do. People hurt people. So, do you know why they hurt them?
Because they love their hurt.
All kinds of reasons, right? People hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. That's another one, definitely. Hurt people, hurt people. Inside of the one who hurt you, inside of that dynamic, is a fixing waiting to happen. It is by design.
What is it?
Inside the dynamic, the one who hurt you, is the one who's there to heal you. The one who hurt you is the one who's there to heal you. Do you think I'm making it up? I will show it to you from Hollow. Oh, do you know this from your life?
Yes.
Yes. Is there something you want to share?
No.
No. Okay. This is the pasuk. This is the most amazing pasuk. I could cry. I have cried. I've cried every time. Let me get you a sitter over here. Wish I could sing this with you because boy, it would be a good time. Maybe we'll sing at the end. But just check this out with me, okay? So there I was in the middle of being devastated. Did you have a time in your life when you're devastated?
Yes.
Oh, good. You're human. Yay. Welcome. It's been a pleasure. After 120 years, we'll just like hang out in bliss. But for now, we get devastation on occasion. All right? Look at this stunning, stunning, stunning pasuk over here. Okay. Who wants to be my reading partner? It's fun. You want to come up? No? Okay. Even Masu Habanim Haisa Larosh Pina. It's so good. Okay, we're going to back it up a little. Ready? Stay with me because everything we need to know is right here in Hallel. Okay, it's a bunch of Hebrew, so just hang out with me. Pischuli Sharei Tzedek Avovam Odaya. Open up the gates of righteousness to me. Because I want to come and I want to praise Hashem. Isn't that what we want? Don't we all want to be our best, most greatest, shiny selves? Peacefully, like, open it up for me. We're actually asked. That's what we ask Hashem. Like, that's what we really, really want, is to be our greatest light. Right? We know stuff is going to happen, but let us rise. We all have a hero. We want to be like that hero, whatever it is in them that we want to emulate. This is the gate of Hashem. Tzadikim yavovo. That's where the tzadikim go. That's where I want to go. I want to go where tzadikim go. Okay, but here's an interesting thing. What's the next pasuk? Oh my gosh, I can't handle this. Okay. Whew. And we say this twice. Odcha ki anisani vatehi li lishua. First we say we want righteousness, and then we say, I'm going to praise you, Hashem, because you hurt me. That's what we say. Odcha ki anisani. You hurt me. I'm going to praise you. I know you're doing exactly what I asked you to do. My soul came here to become, to be, to fix, and now you hurt me. I thank you. You're my coach. You're creating me. You're sculpting me. You're working with me. And we continue. Even masu habonim haisa lerosh pina. The stone that the builders despised became the cornerstone. That stone that didn't fit in, do you know what they ended up doing with it? They ended up creating this beautiful architectural
Good.
yeah, structure around it. It created the design. It made something new from that thing that you tested me. The very thing. The last thing I ever wanted was to be single. The last thing I ever wanted was to be divorced. The last thing I ever wanted was to be poor. The last thing I ever wanted was to have trouble with my children. This thing that I couldn't stand, it became the cornerstone. My gosh, my emunah. Look what's happening to my emunah. Look what's happening to who I'm becoming. Look what's happening to my compassion and how I'm there for my friends and how I can be there for people. I feel myself growing and rising. Look what's happening to my art that is coming forth from me, my writing. Look at what you're creating in me. And then we basically go into ecstasy. Me'ez Hashem ha'sezos, hini plus beinenu. My gosh, now I see this thing that was from Hashem. It wasn't people who hurt me. It wasn't life who hurt me. Me'ez Hashem ha'sezos, oh, it was from you. This is a wonder before our eyes. Zeh hayom asa Hashem nagila v'nisnachabo. This is the day Hashem made. Let us rejoice and be happy in it. Then, when we live like that, that's the secret. That's the formula. When we see what's underneath the surface, remember the feminine formula? To look what's happening beneath the surface. When we get what Hashem is doing for us is exactly what we truly want, then we have this experience of Zeh hayom asa Hashem. This is the day that Hashem made, and I'll rejoice in it. Do you know what happens when you're depressed? You don't do the days, my friends. You do Netflix at night. Okay? That's what you do. You don't want to see the day when you're feeling depressed. You just want today to be over. When you can stand in your day, and try it now, stand in this moment and say, my gosh, it's good to be alive. Zeh hayom asa Hashem. This is actually quite a marvel to be alive. Like, I'll take it. I'll take this. I'll take the pain and the pleasure. I think God likes peace. Did you know that? Pain, pleasure, purpose. So many powerful P's in this world. Perlman. Is there a Penina in this group? Right? When you get that, your days are alive. You are vibrant. Okay? You are vibrant. You are alive. Do we have time for a few more stories?
Sure.
Are you too hot? You need to go. Mwah. I'm looking at the clock. It's 9 o'clock already. I'm just going to see if I'll give you one more story. Yeah, we will. If you need to leave, I don't feel bad because, like I said, I'm okay. Test me. Leave. Walk out. It's all worth it just to speak to Carly. Goodbye, and thank you for joining us. And thank you, ladies. You're welcome to sit here. I'm going to tell you a story. But before I do, I want to make sure that I'm not giving an inspirational speech. Because I don't need to give an inspirational speech to you, okay? That's not, there's a lot, I think there's a lot better speakers than me. There's just a lot of speakers. What I really want is to give you a transformation. To give you something that you will take home and do something about. It doesn't matter if you get an epiphany in this room or a realization in your life. That's lovely. That's good. That's so inspiring. Yay. Yay. But you ladies are redemption bringers. And don't think I'm flattering you. It's not me who made you. Hashem made you. He put this exact neshama in this exact body in this exact time of history. With these exact tests, with this exact light. He said, this is the crowd. You know, like, you're going to bring together the all-stars in the Olympics. I'm going to pick all the best. Okay, I'm going to pick all the best. I'm going to put together this crazy team of, like, unbelievable people. And you're like, how did they all get together from different teams? You know that there's an all-star basketball team? Suddenly, they just all come together. And you look around us. Each one of us is so different. We are so different. We are so different. And that's awesome. You got to stop trying to be the same. Stop trying to fit in. Stop trying to find a community that understands you. Oh, who's guilty of that? I need a community that understands you. Right. What do you want, 10 clones? I don't need that. I need to fit in. No, you don't. No, you don't. You just need to be. We were made. She loves it. You love it. Why do you love it?
Because I see a lot of aspects of this community that everybody has to do what everybody else does because they need to fit in. And
Everyone needs to fit in.
Crazy.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna.
You know, like the latest thing is that if a girl doesn't go to seminary, then she won't have a shitter. I mean, that's
Okay.
crazy. But
Yeah.
that's the talk now.
No, that's always been the talk. Oh, we could go on.
I could go on.
We could go on and
it's something
on.
that the Jewish community make up on their own, like mishugas, and I just don't know why they do this to themselves.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to you. It would be so easy for me to stand up here and tell you all my cool opinions about society. And maybe we would even agree on a few things, like how ridiculous that is. We could talk about homework. We could talk about, like, $100 leather shoes for your 2-year-old. Right? We could talk about straightening your hair every Shabbos for an hour and a half at a salon. I mean, what is up, right? We could talk about, like, 6 pounds of makeup to go to the grocery store. We could talk about so many things. But why? That would mean that we are making up a story, that there's a they that's in charge. And that would mean that we give all the strength to the people that are in charge when they're not even in charge because they're looking at other people. So you're in this crazy story of, I have to fit in, and my kids need to go here, and my house needs to look like this because that's what everyone does, really? Because everyone's looking at everyone else. So let's stop the victim story of they are telling me it needs to be this way and instead own that Hashem created an all-star team of unique individuals. I'll tell you a quick formula. Are you ready? You're going to love this. You're going to use this. This is, I think, from my partner. Quick formula. We are all from Adam Harishon, right? Okay. We're all from Adam Harishon. That means that we're all connected, correct? But the Medrash also says that Hashem stamped Adam with a certain stamp, and then all of us that came from Adam, we are also stamped. But interestingly, we are made with a different stamp. And it says in the Medrash that, isn't this cool? Because a human being that has a stamp, all the letters look the same. But Hashem stamps each person as an individual. So it's kind of a dichotomy. On one hand, we're all connected. On the other hand, we're all unique. Get it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So our footnote says, a person has to embrace uniqueness and unity. Uniqueness and unity. Now here's what happens, and this is the formula I want to give you. What happens is, if you are looking for unity and you don't give enough weight to your uniqueness, like you said, everyone's looking at everyone else. What are people doing? I think I'll look at what you're doing in order to figure out who I should be. And everyone's just looking at, oh, I think I should send my kids to this school. Must go to Costa Rica Pesach vacation. Must make $50,000 wedding. Must wear a black hat, black suit. And just looking around. That's what's done. Okay? It's like when they get those headbands with a poof that's 6 inches high. Why is that ever in style? That should not be in style, but everyone's doing it. Everyone's little kid has one. So when we put away our uniqueness and only look for unity, that's what happens. When we look only at our uniqueness and forget about unity, then we say, well, my way is the best way. So who cares about you? As a matter of fact, you shouldn't do that. You spend so much money on vacations. You spend so much money on your children's clothes. And we walk around judging everyone against ourselves as if we are God. Right? So we can't go either way. And that's why I never, Bezras Hashem, I don't get involved in these conversations. I always think, I would be like Y.Y. Jacobson, you know, like he just says the opinions and like everyone's like, yeah, that's the opinions. We all agree. And it's amazing that he's saying that. But I'm like, Rivka Malka can't do that. Do you know why? Because I believe, for me, there's no part of me that's putting that down. I'm just saying, like, as I think about what do I need to say over here, it doesn't matter. It's falling into the trap of actually caring about stuff that doesn't matter. Don't put your energies there. The Torah gave us the formula already. You are unique. You're part of the all-star team. And where do you play? With the team. So go be you in the team. Let that be okay. Saw this YouTube channel called Charisma on Command. Why did I look at it? Because it said, what did it say? It was part of my fear before I came here, and it was like how to open your speech or something, right? And I was like, oh, I should listen to that before my speech because I never speak and I'm so scared. And right? People are weird. So I'm like listening to a 20-year-old guy telling me how to open a speech. Okay, it's crazy. So anyway, but I was, yes. So what is my point? So he has like these 6 mindsets that will magnetize you or something. And like one of the mindsets is, I'm okay. When you just walk around that I'm okay, you become a magnet. when you don't feel that I'm okay, people sense your neediness or your judginess, and they don't want to be with you. It's unpleasant, and we stuff our faces at kiddishes because it's so unpleasant. We just do that, right? So, gosh, there's so much more to say. Gosh, my mind is like blowing with stories out the wazoo, but I know I can't keep you. It's not right, so I'm gonna close this thing down right now, Rivka Malka. Snap to it. Get the point. Okay, we're gonna review. That's what we're gonna do. Point number 1. I beg you, I ask you, I work together with you. This is my avoda, so I'm just sharing my work with you. Keep an open heart. Okay? Keep an open heart. I beg you, stay in the game. Stay in the game. You're an all-star. You're a champion. You're designed for this. You're going to be okay. Stay in the game. Don't turn your back on life. Don't turn your back on Hashem. Don't turn your back on shidduchim. Don't turn your back on money. Don't give up on anything. Everything is possible. My favorite saying, I made it up, there is always a way. There's always a way. There's always a way. That is my first takeaway point. You got that? Can you just say it with me? Keep an open heart.
Keep an open heart.
Keep an open heart. Just open your hands. I will keep an open heart.
I will keep an open heart.
Ooh, I like that. You want to do that again? That was like strong. Let's do it again. I will keep an open heart. That's a commitment to yourself. I'll do life. I will keep an open heart. Anyone feel moved that they just made that commitment? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's the hardest thing in the world, and you have to know. My nose itches. You have to know that Hashem appreciates your work. He says, "Lechtech acharav hamidbar." No. Zacharti la chesed ne'arach. I remember the kindness of your youth, he says to the Jewish people. What was the kindness of our youth? What did we do when we were a little nation? We followed him into the desert when it was super scary for us. We were so scared. We're like, we don't know this life. We're like used to food and hard work, and you just want us to sit and be holy and eat man, and we don't know where water's coming from, and we don't know what's happening tomorrow. We have no security. We're really scared. And then, like, out of nowhere in the middle of the night, you tell us, travel, time to leave. Life is changing, and here's another change, and here's another change, and we never know. And one day we're here for 3 years, and then we're encamped in another place for 2 days, and we have no clue what's happening. And Hashem says, you followed me there. I really appreciate you. So don't think it's a given. Don't think, yeah, you were born for this, so you should be able to do this. No, it's a big deal to Hashem. He lets us know it's a huge deal that you want to keep an open heart. He considers it a chesed. You should know that. Kiss from him. Mwah. Number 1, keep an open heart. Number 2, you are a champion. You are awesome. You can say that to yourself every single day. And you can say whatever else you want every single day. And to the extent that you know it, you will feel that Hashem knows it. You can say, I was born to do great things. Just say that. I was born to do great things. Say it. I was born to do great things. I was born to do great things. I am a bright shining light. Say it. I am a bright shining light. You are. I am a bright shining light. The more you know it, the more you know Hashem knows it. Shalom. We get peace. We get back in alignment. That's point number 2. Get yourself some good affirmations. Look at my YouTube where I talked about intensity. Major affirmations. It's a really powerful program. It's intensity. Just look it up. I don't want to go into it now, but it has to do with doing a workout. It doesn't even have to... With effort, it's super solid and life-changing. But the Torah has always told us this, so we don't even need to go there this minute. Okay? That's number 2. We're just reviewing over here. Number 3, we did not get into this. Please have me back. I want to do this work with you for like hours and hours and hours because this is life. How every person in your life is there to heal you. They are there to heal you. That little hurt part of you that you just cover up all the time, God doesn't want that. He wants all of you. So he's going to mix it around. He's going to mix it around, so you have to face it. Can't run away. It's going to happen. Right? And that person is there to heal you. Now, I can't go into that because that's just like hours and hours of stunning work for you to do to really heal that. I don't expect you to walk around forgiving everyone, but at least if you could have the lens, just a lens, that the world is my mirror, a lens, Hashem should bless you that you should be able to get the insights that you need to get.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And finally, the last thing that I want to leave you with is this. You are a queen. You are a queen. In all this that has happened, in every bit of life that is happening, please remember that you are a queen. We have forgotten that we are queens. We have forgotten. And when we forget, we don't look too good. We don't walk around with a spirit of joy, power, gratitude. We walk around feeling beaten and passive and powerless and just about managing and complaining and really tired. I want you to know, please, from the bottom of my heart, and I don't have time to go into mishalem and stories and inspirations. I just want you to sit for one moment and find a place in you that knows that she's a queen. You are a queen. You are not a beggar. You are not a slave. So many people in my life are moving away from codependence right now as we speak. I know, like, person after person, including myself. Just like setting people free. I no longer have to run around making everybody happy. It doesn't befit a queen. We are queens. We have boundaries. We are queens. We don't walk around saying, yeah, the king, what an idiot, what a jerk. Talking about our husbands, blaming everything on him. No. We are a queen. We take power in our own choices, and we make decisions that are healthy and good for us. We are a queen. We get dressed in the morning, take care of ourselves. We are a queen. We don't say self-deprecating things about ourselves. We don't put ourselves down. Own it. We are Mamlechas Kohanim v'Gai Kadosh, a nation of priests and a kingdom that's holy. We've got to embody that. Us women gotta own it. And I am finishing. This point is too important to leave. But the Zohar says, and this is a little from Mimim Mizrahi and a little bit from Tzipora Harris, that at the end of days, the men are going to be facing an incredible darkness, a terrible darkness. So they will forget who they are. They will. They will forget who they are. They will forget what their strength is and what their power is, and they will be lost and searching in the dark. And the women will walk around saying, hey, you, turn on your light. Hey, turn on your light. Turn on your light. Come on. Hey, I know you've got it in you somewhere. Come on, turn on your light. My husband's not turning on his light. Turn on your light. Where's the light? Where's the light? But that's not what's supposed to happen. Because now, before redemption, is the time for the woman's light. What needs to actually happen is that we need to turn on our own lights and let that shine outwards. Let that warm and illuminate the men in our lives and the people in our lives. And that is part of being a queen. To stop saying, oh, I feel so bad that you're doing so bad. No. You do well. This is your time. This is queen time. This is redemption time. And trust that your light is enough. You don't have to control anything. Your light is more than enough. So I bless all you queens. It's very humbling to be in a room full of queens. That you own your own kingdom, your own special brand of royalty, your sophistication, your creativity, whatever it is, that you own it, that you love it and not look to other people to give you approval for your own kingdom and your own decisions. Can I get amen?
Amen.
Amen. And I bless us all that Hashem should give us the physical resources, that it will enable us to walk, talk, dress, and hold ourselves like queens in the most easy and comfortable way possible. Can I get amen? Amen. Amen. And I bless us all that we should get along with one another and see the uniqueness in another and not be threatened by it and not judge it. Amen. Amen. And in that sense, truly own our royalty. And thank you, everyone, for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you. And hey, Facebook. Yaakov says, I am a queen. What's the guy watching this if he doesn't want to be a queen? What are you doing on here, Yaakov? Amen. That is funny. That is so funny. Oh, yay, we're getting some hearts. Let's get some hearts for these nice ladies. I'm going to finish off this thing. Goodbye, everyone.